Hello. Welcome to the December anime podcast. Yes, December. What's that? It's January? Well, shut up. We're doing this right now, and we're going to pretend it's December because trying to get multiple people on the internet to all coordinate during December while they also have the holidays and New Year's is, well, it's impossible. So we're doing this now. Anyway, how's everyone doing tonight? I hope everyone's having a good night. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's go right into this. So, for December, we wanted to do something kind of Christmassy, but we didn't want to torture RJ over here with Toradora. So instead, we're doing Gabriel Dropout, which is quite a bit shorter, quite a bit funnier, and it has a Christmas episode.
I still don't know what Toradora is. Just saying.
It's a romance anime.
Yeah, it's a romance. You wouldn't like it.
Oh God,
it's the greatest love story ever told, and you have to. I'll watch it with you. We'll watch it together.
So it's not immediate torture. It's
you can imagine
torture.
Me on the couch just caressing you. I'll be fine.
So it's not immediate torture. It's eventual torture, and we're gonna have to watch it at some point for the show.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Okay.
Anyway,
thank God, next year I can.
So, Gabriel Dropout follows four characters, 2 angels and 2 demons. Now, the idea behind it is that for elementary school and middle school, the angels and demons go to school in heaven and hell, but in high school, they're sent to Earth to go be high schoolers on Earth and learn what it's like to live in the human world and learn about humans. So we follow our main character, Gabriel, who is the perfect little girl, the best student in the school, honor rolls of honor rolls.
And then she was exposed to video games.
Yes. Then she became a gamer and she rose up. No, but in actuality, she just got really, really lazy and stopped caring about anything except video games, and is only ever brought to school by Vignette, who wakes her up and forces her to clean and forces her to get dressed and go to school. It sort of has an interesting dynamic, Gabriel and Vignette especially. Gabriel is a really lousy angel who is just lazy and apathetic. And then Vignette is a demon who's supposed to be bad, but instead she is really what Gabriel should be. She's like this perfect little angel, even though she's a demon.
World's worst angel becomes friends with world's worst demon.
Yeah, she's actually pretty wholesome, all things considered.
Yeah.
Best girl.
So, what do you guys think of the animation before we get like too deep into like the characters and like deeper stuff? What do you guys think of the animation?
The animation was because this is actually my second time watching this. I watched this while it was airing. So when you're going through a first time, you don't ever really notice the animation quality as well as you would like the second or third time, right? So the second time I was paying a bit more attention to the production side of things, and they put quite a bit of effort into animating character interactions, like even just beyond the first episode, because you'll tend to have like a first episode that has a higher production value than the rest of them because that was at the start of the production run. but it was actually still pretty consistent. I would say standouts outside of the first episode, the episode with Tapris had a lot of really good animation and character action just being on display, and especially the episode at the physical exams. There's like a few scenes where they did something that normally would have been the result of a shortcut in the other show, but they actually put in the time and effort to give it a bit more personality.
I think it's really noticeable with like Satania. Her character just deal with the animation fidelity and how much effort they put into her movements to really characterize her over the topness.
Yeah. Her character really wouldn't work without that backing it up.
Yeah, she's very she's got kind of this sort of jumpy, kind of erratic movements about her. You know, she's always flipping between like the sort of normal animation style to like this sort of over the top kind of goofy thing where it's like it just to like show her reactions to stuff, and it's all quite well done. Yeah. It's especially noticeable when they sort of do these low shots panning up while she's like covering her face a little bit and laughing in sort of this sort like kind of imposing kind of thing, even though what she's doing is not even really that bad, like refusing to do her homework or something. And of course she thinks it's the most evil thing ever, and you know,
I think.
Go on.
Oh, I was going to say, I think the best example was when Gabriel kicks the door when Satania is just pounding on the doorbell.
Yeah.
She just basically blows the door off its hinges and crushes Satania.
Yeah, and the door like falls over, and she's like, she's basically like dead on the ground. It's pretty well done.
You know what's funny? This was that scene alone was my very first exposure to Gabriel Dropout before I even knew what it was about, because that scene ended up being memed on, and I found it on a bunch of meme compilations on YouTube. Same with the gun action in the classroom. That gun scene.
Ridiculous. That gun scene, like the gun, like
yeah, it's on screen. She's pointing a gun that she purchased from the demonic network. It's like HBO or a satellite TV for demons, and
it's basically. Pardon me, but it's basically QVC. It's basically the QVC of hell, and it sells you really shitty products.
Oh yeah. So he was saying like the item of the week is this handgun. It's a 357 Magnum, but it doesn't shoot bullets. It shoots laughter or fits of laughter. So if you aim it at somebody and shoot, they can't stop laughing for 10 minutes. And Gabriel just says, "Oh well, hey, Satania, you won." And then says, "Hey, let's see if the gun actually works, though." So she fires it at Satania, and Satania gets in trouble because she's just laughing nonstop in a classroom. So the teacher wasn't too happy about that. Goes back to that. Yeah. Goes back to what I said like a minute ago. This show does overacting like rather well. Like I usually don't watch these kinds of shows, and like I just downright don't like them. But this was actually funny. Like I cracked up whenever Satania was doing something childish. Usually when animes have this kind of thing, like it's kind of cliched and badly done, or just not done well enough. And I say usually. So I enjoyed these scenes. They were very funny.
Well,
Satania. Oh, go ahead.
I was actually looking up like just the staff that was involved, and the director and the series composer both have a fairly significant history. They're either working on comedy anime. The director of this also directed Himoto Maru-chan, and let's see, and also worked for direction for Minami K. Minami K is another like older, well, not that old. This will actually get some adaptations every now and then, but it's one of the older comedy series from back in the 2000s. And the guy who did the script writing for this, he had worked on Aho Girl recently, and that's another one that's actually pretty good for
wait a minute. You mean to tell me these guys worked in Aho Girl as well?
At least the script writer then. So like this actually has like in terms of just the comedic story or comedy writing, and actually
No
has people
wonder that series was
experienced.
ridiculous. We need to review Aho Girl sometime.
So, yeah, the animation is well done. Let's segue over the sound design. Oh, I can't talk tonight for some reason. What do you guys think of the sound?
The opening song grew on me. At first, I hated it. Now I love the opening song.
Yeah, it has
Likewise.
probably the most ridiculous opening song made in like the past 10 years.
I don't know what it is, but it just has a certain rhythmic quality that I absolutely love.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a mixture between classical in one area and then heavy metal on the other one. Like it's like this conflict of genres
Yeah.
regarding the intro theme. The ending, however, I don't give a shit about the ending for the most part. It's typical idol shit.
Remember.
It's typical idol shit. That's how forgettable it is.
Yeah, Hallelujah Slime. Yeah, not Hallelujah Slime as the ED was nice, but for the opening, it reminded me a lot of some of the Denpake I've listened to in the past. Like it has that sort of energy and off kilterness to it that really fits the premise of the show.
Yeah. The rest of the music is not much to write home about. It's mostly just kind of setting the mood. Otherwise, there's stuff like, they'll have like some like stereotypical demon music that goes well with Santania's rants, and like really builds up her like mental image about being like the world's greatest archdemon. Even though she's talking about I don't know, not throwing her drink away or something.
For being a demon, she really sucks at it.
Oh yeah, it's because she thinks she's like a total like badass like archdemon.
And yeah, most of the shit that she makes regarding evil is nothing more than childish pranks.
Yeah,
which helps with her character.
Some of them can't even really be described as pranks, like minor inconveniences or just being kind of dumb. Mike,
go ahead.
What's your take on the actual sound effects themselves?
Me?
They function.
They're all right. I mean, honestly, going back to the music, I like the church organs. I don't know. I like horror and I like gothic stuff, so church organs were plus. But then again, they were just in certain scenes, like Satania will do the thing, and then you hear like church organs play. You also heard some. You would also hear some like church music whenever the angels were doing something or talking about heaven or whatever. But I thought like those sound bites were pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
and
I think the sound effects themselves were pretty typical. They did their job, and that's about it. And really, I guess that's all they needed to do in this instance.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't. When they needed to use the sound effect, it wasn't over the top. It wasn't misplaced. You didn't have something that was out. I don't know. I think back to Dr. Stone with that odd, chunky noise when they. They did a good job with this one. Sound design wise.
I wanted to just jump in and say, I really, really, while I don't like bullies very much, especially characters that are bullies, Raphael made me laugh because Raphael was just excessively cruel to both Satania and I forgot what the girls T'Pri, the little cherub, the minor angel that was bewildered.
Tapris?
Oh yeah, that kind of reminds me, like, one of the best jokes in the entire series was with like Raphael, or not Raphael, Santania and Dappers. This is like, if you want to like show someone what Gabriel Dropout is all about, you show him this scene where Dappers was told by Raphael that the demon that corrupted Santania is in this classroom. So she goes there.
The demon that corrupted Gabriel. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gabriel. Sorry.
Yeah, because this scene has like, I would say, like a good like 10 minutes of setup, and it pays off so.
Yeah, and it is the most Gabriel Dropout scene in the entirety of Gabriel Dropout. Dappers walks in the classroom. She hears Santania speaking from like some esoteric voice from some unknown location, like ha ha ha.
She's in a cabinet
or something.
She's in a friggin' it's not even a locker.
Yeah, she's in a cabinet. And she like shakes it, trying to burst out of the cabinet. She can't get out, and the cabinet falls over. It opens, and then completely deadpan while she's sideways in the cabinet.
I'm the one responsible.
Continues her speech.
Yeah.
So if you're to do this.
If you're searching for the demon that corrupted your mentor or the person you were looking up for, it was me all along. It's like it was me, Dio.
Speaking of JoJo reference.
Oh no!
Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it?
RJ brought it up, not me.
Yeah, RJ, why'd you do it?
Okay. So I'm gonna say one thing, and then we're not gonna talk. As much as I love JoJo, we're not gonna talk about JoJo. I'm showing the screenshot where it says where Raphael is. I forgot. I'm sorry if it was. Well, Raphael's talking to Vin, and they're talking about like movies and things they like, and they have a parody for Gone with the Wind, My Neighbor Totoro, Spider-Man, the Seven Samurai, right? So Dracula, Your Name
Ultraman.
Yeah, Ultraman.
And Ultraman.
What's Dial Morning of Dawn? Is that? It kind of looks odd. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Evangelion, sort of.
Five Samurai. If I recall,
that's Seven Samurai. No. Okay, no.
Sorry.
Look at the screenshot. Dial M Morning of Dawn. I don't know what that is. Is that like a zombie parody? I don't know.
Something
I've
like
never
that.
heard of it.
Yeah. Everything else I recognize.
Just getting back on track with that though, like that scene is not only like one of those things that's really good representation of the show, it's just a really good representation of how you would do slapstick comedy, because I'm not sure how many of you either like know about comedic theory or like have like watched what would be classic comedies and kind of took mental notes of what makes it effective, but
with slapstick, there has to be like kind of a logical progression to the jokes. They like kind of build up off each other.
And everything just flows so well in this show. Like it doesn't feel like anything's forced or something. There's a lot of comedy anime I watch now where they try too hard to force in a otaku reference or something, and with this it naturally builds off of both the situations and the setting of the show.
So their teacher isn't on here. Their teacher is not on the character list, even though he should be. But they've got this really tough teacher. This guy with the shaved head and sunglasses, and when Satania tried to refuse to do her homework, he punished her by getting her to stand outside holding 2 full buckets of water. But when Halloween hit and she's trying to scare him, he just passes it off as Satania being a kid during Halloween. And so he offers them candy, and she goes, "Do you really think that's going to satiate my appetite?" So he just, like, without even saying anything, just pulls out her favorite snack, which is the melon...
melon bread.
Yeah, melon bread.
And the dog takes it instantly.
And that's a gag in the show, the dog. In fact, Raphael encourages the dog to steal from Satania. So the dog just shows up, and the funny part was, like, Sensei, my teacher, you got me this limited edition one. It's like a limited edition snack, kind of like how you have Mountain Dew that's limited edition.
You know how depressing it is to get excited over something like that?
I
realized that she likes it.
I actually realized that the dog in Satania is one of the few actual, like, arcs, or not arcs, but actual character developments throughout the show, because it starts off her fighting with, there's an actual, like, progression with that character.
Yep. The dog has the most development in the whole
the dog and Satania have the most character development.
Yeah.
How ironic, isn't it?
Oh, and the freaking development with Satania and the dog is, like, totally melodramatic. It's just like, I can't it's hard to, like, find an apartment.
She goes to Hokkaido.
Yeah,
that scene she takes
like,
to run,
like, snow and rain up to, like, the north point of the country, and she's, like, freezing and sharing melon bread.
And it's like, it's so
the
funny.
problem is just, we're having a hard time finding an apartment.
And her first thought was, I need to go on this melodramatic journey. Mind you, they live in Tokyo, so she had to travel, like, quite a distance.
Yeah, Hokkaido is pretty far away. It's you have to take train usually, and if you drive, you got to rent the car. So
it's not even part of the mainland; it's its own thing, and it goes
it's an island
into, like, places that border the northern parts of Alaska. And she went pretty far north, because the point they find her at is, like, you see ice sheets.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's an Iceland, so you gotta have a boat ride in order to reach the island.
See. Now I'm just thinking of the Arctic in Dragon Ball, but we won't go there. It just to emphasize how far somebody went. That, like, I'm just thinking, like, geez, I didn't even think of that. Like, I noticed that it was, like, freezing, but I didn't think it was, like, that bad. Like. But
oh man.
Well,
I gotta jump in. Hold up, Lewis. I want to say something real quick. The thing I found funny though was it was Gabriel who saved her again and said, "Hey, I'll talk to the landlord. I happen to work for him at his coffee shop." So, that was funny. It's like every time someone saves her, it's one of the angels or Vin, because Vin feels sorry for her.
Okay, am I the only one? Am I the only one that loves the coffee, dude?
Oh my God, the poor guy who just wants to make a good cup of coffee and watch people enjoy it, and these girls keep showing up and torturing him.
when Satania starts talking crap about his coffee, that scene where he's just getting shot, he's like, "Oh no, please just stop. You don't have to drink any more of the coffee."
The best part. I think the best part is, like, Santania shows up at the coffee shop and freaking Gabriel just
knocks her out.
Stomach.
Yeah, just freaking. It was like a scene out of Tekken. Like she opens the coffee shop. I'm sorry. She opens the door to the coffee shop. Gabriel walks up, recognizes her, does a battle stance, and then punches her in the stomach. And her boss goes,
"Well, it's clearing the solar plexus."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wasn't that the part when she kicks her out of the store?
No, she tries to kick her out of the coffee shop, and her employer goes, "You can't just do that to customers." And he immediately starts apologizing, not knowing what the dynamic is between these two. And then she goes, "We're rivals," and he just, the look on his face was, "Oh God, what have I walked into? What have I done by hiring this person?"
Nah, she's a cunt. Nah.
Just the coffee guy in general, like when he's trying to help Vignette try and commit bad deeds, and he's equally terrible at committing bad deeds.
His ideas of bad deeds is like from the 1980s biker gang.
Like make sure they leave.
Oh.
Like just don't take notes in class. That's about as bad as skipping class.
Hey
right?
man, it's just as bad as when Gabriel threw the
she
wrong
can't
item in the
do
recycle
those.
bin.
She can't even do those. She like, she like he like encourages her to dress badly, and her idea of dressing badly is like not buttoning like her overcoat or something.
Like Gabriel.
It's a
like-
Gyaru look.
She tries all this and Gabriel walks up the exact same way she's dressed.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Kind of goes back to when Tapras met Gabriel and didn't recognize her, and Gabriel's like, "Hey kid, I need a couple more cents. Give me some money so I can get my drink. I'll pay you back eventually if I get this other soda." Because in Japan, vending machines they have this thing where some vending machines will give you a prize, like after a certain amount of times, if you buy something, you get some for free. And
Yeah.
Tapras responds, "So you're not even gonna pay me back if you don't win the prize?" And she goes, "Oh God, I know what this is. I'm being mugged right now by a punk. This is what she is. She's a school punk." And she's just imagining like one of those like Japanese punks from the 80s, like the ones that like this like Kuwabara is an example. Like he's got the foofy hair and the open shirt with like so
Yeah.
so she's imagining Gabriel with like a baseball bat and that outfit. And then Vin comes along, and no, I'm sorry, no, not Vin. Raphael comes along, and Tapras is like, "Oh my God, I know you," and she realizes, oh, Gabriel is the punk. It just says, "How did you become like this?" But that moment right there, this person's asking me for money. They must be evil. It was funny.
Yeah, she thinks she's like a background character in Kimaguru Orange Road, or however you pronounce that.
Mongolian Chop Shop. I just thought of that too.
Oh man. I think the best part with Gabriel in the coffee shop, my favorite part is Gabriel gets done with her first day at work, and then the guy's like, "All right, so you're gonna show up tomorrow, right?" And she's like, "No, I'm not working more than once a week. Are you crazy?" Oh man.
Did anyone catch the Fist of the North Star reference towards the end of the season?
No, actually.
I watched about
when her sister comes down to check and see if she's actually doing what she's supposed to. When she finally finds out and retaliates and fires an arrow at her sister, she does Kenshiro's reverse.
Yeah. Just grabs the arrow midair, twists it.
Yeah, and it's the exact same motion where it's just using index and middle finger, catching it and flipping the arrow around back at the opponent.
Dude,
And they even use the subtitling. I can't remember.
Dude, her sister was flat out ridiculous. She was overpowered. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
Like she was saying, you think you're gonna fool me? What you think I'm some kind of pendeja? Some fucking dumbass? I'm the most powerful angel in heaven.
Yeah, no,
Because
her sister was just extremely pissed. Like, one, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Two, you're falling, like you're becoming depraved. Three, now you're challenging me, and I'm several leagues above you. What the hell do you think you're doing?
What's really funny is that on top of the dog and Satania getting the most character development, the dog solves that issue. The whole thing with Gabriel's sister is solved specifically because she's afraid of dogs.
Oh yeah. When she saw the dog, she was like, I'm never coming back here again. You're on your own. She just disappears out of nowhere. Oh, speaking of Gabriel, we need to talk about that freaking trumpet of hers, man.
Oh yeah,
Let's
whenever
just end
she's
the
like
world.
mildly annoyed, she pulls out a trumpet that signals the end of the world.
Yes, she has one of Jericho's trumpets.
Or the New Year's where she just gets drunk and says, I'm gonna end the world New Year's.
The first time she pulled it out was because
That joke, I just want to point out, that joke where she gets drunk is the most clever way to get around television regulations over there. Because one of the major things with television regulations in Japan is that you can't show underage drinking, right? So the type of drink she got drunk off of was a matsukaze, which is they explain, or the subtitles. I didn't know this. The subtitles I was using actually explain this, but it can be either low alcohol or no alcohol. So they never like actually confirm whether or not she was drinking alcohol, because they get around that in a really clever writing way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Japanese censorship
Wait a
is
minute,
always fascinating.
how did Monogatari get past that? Because they actually legit show an underage character drinking sake.
I'm not sure actually. I guess it would kind of depend, but I know that was like that's like the famous one is with Jotaro and part 3 of JoJo, where they have to black out him smoking. Like that was part of the TV. Right?
Where it's just I can tell he's smoking. Like, that's not helping.
So,
oh yeah. What about that trick he does?
yeah, multiple cigarettes in his mouth, and then
Wait
he
a
hides it.
underage characters smoke all the time in anime. Did
Yada
they
yada
change
does
the
it.
law or something?
It's been kind of one of those things that's been increasing over the decades.
Because that happens in Karekano, that happens in Kimaguru Orange Road.
No, it also depends on like you
Right.
said, it depends on the era that the anime came out, and two, it's a concurrent laws, and laws change over time.
Yeah, they've only ever gotten stricter. It's actually kind of interesting because this is off topic, but whatever. I guess I'll just be real quick about this. As of right now, anime has more regulations than live action television over there. There was a good time period where fan service was like could only be shown at like 4 p.m., but they could have shown like hardcore pornography on television at like 12.
All right. Anyway,
Christmas episode. We need to discuss it.
Oh, we haven't really talked about Raphael.
All right, go ahead.
She has some of the best deadpan moments.
I
in
need
the
to say one
series.
thing before we move on to Raphael. One thing about Gabriel. I like the line she said when Vin freaks out. It's at the very beginning of the show where Gabriel is too lazy to go to school on time, so she tries to teleport into school, and she remembers the catch. No one can witness this. In other words, if anybody witnesses it, your teleportation won't work. So she tries to teleport into a classroom that already has a bunch of people in it, and her underwear gets teleported because it's the only thing on her that's not visible. And
Oh my god! If it's not that, it's her skirt. Holy shit!
So, basically, Vin tells her, "Why didn't you come to school?" And she said, "Well, a piece of my clothing showed up, so I guess I don't have to show." And she said, "That's not how that works." So then she realizes, "Oh no, humans saw a thing appear out of nowhere. I have to get rid of all the humans that saw it." So she pulls out her trumpet, and Vin goes, "Are you gonna seriously end the world over this?" And her response was, "They're just collateral damage. I think humans have lived long enough." It was, she's so detached from reality. It's funny.
Yeah. Raphael. Now, Raphael, she's just the eternal troll. Everything she ever does, and every moment of her existence, is trying to find ways of amusing herself at other people's expense.
Yeah, especially Satania. She pretty much that is her number one target. She loves fucking with her.
Yeah, so
Well, Santania is an easy target.
Yep. So when Tabris shows up, keep in mind, you'd think maybe Raphael's just like that towards Satania because Satania's a demon. No. See, Tapras shows up, and Tapras is an angel. And the first thing she does is she directs Tapras at Satania so that Raphael can enjoy seeing the two of them duke it out. And keep in mind, these two characters, Satania and Tapras, are they're equally childish, or they're equally naive. So Raphael's just getting just really giddy over setting two children loose on each other.
Yeah, and this was the cabinet scene that we mentioned earlier. She like pokes her head in and sees like Rafi or Santania on the ground, and then she like ducks back below the door and starts giggling, and she goes, "What did I miss?" But yeah, it's very rare that anyone gets a one over on Raphael, or Rafi, I think she's called. I remember Gabriel didn't want to like go on this beach trip, so it starts raining. So she's like, great, I can go home to my video games. And then you see Raphael on her phone, and she hangs up, and then the rain stops. And she goes, "Did you just call in a favor?" And she gets like really mad. Why is everyone muted?
Well,
I'm not muted.
I'm just waiting for my turn for jump into discussion.
Oh, okay. But anyway, what ends up happening throughout the show is Raphael will work from the background just to set up situations where characters, especially Santania, will provide amusing reactions for her. And sometimes it's everything from bribing the dog to steal Santania's melon bread, to sudden spur of the moment things where it's like, oh, I see this thing happening, I can exploit that.
I can make the situation worse.
The amount of times where she slips, she says, "I enjoy helping people."
Yeah.
This will be so amusing.
Oh, remember when Santania just wakes up one morning and Rafi is just in the same bed as her?
And she's like, "What are you doing in my bed?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know. I just thought, it would feel comfortable to come here." And just starts ordering her around, but does it in a way that Satania thinks she's in charge.
Yeah. Oh, it's perfect.
That was actually kind of sad. Like, she's like, "So, what's your favorite kind of snack?" And she's like, I want to get some melon bread and milk." And he's like, "Can you get me some too?" And she's like, "Why can't you go do it? You're the subordinate." And then Raphael's like, "Well, if you're such a strong leader, why don't you go get our food?" So she goes all the way to the market, gets the food. Keep in mind it's the middle of the night. Comes back, and she's sad because the dog stole her melon bread, but she still wants to give Gabriel's melon. I'm sorry, she still wants to give Raphael's melon bread. And Raphael's just like snickering, like, "What happened on the way here?" And she goes, "My melon bread got stolen." It's like this just terrible person taking advantage of someone else.
Oh, man. So, let's see, that's really covered all four of the characters, and I'm gonna be real, there is not much plot in this show.
Yeah, that's one of the things that that's where I enjoyed the show, but I didn't have much investment in it. Like, the only development, like I said, it's the dog and Satania.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I think this is kind of not the point. I mean, sure, it'd be nice if it had like a really good plot, and it's like, but I think this it's really just a gag show
Yeah.
with a well set up premise, and that's really all it's trying to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
very
mean-
to the point, and it focuses on executing what it wants to accomplish very well, and
Yeah.
the writing understands the characters, and everything seems kind of fluid.
Yeah, they do a really good job setting up their characters and then utilizing them in the different sketches and comedic bits that they want to deliver with.
Yeah, and I
Like
think,
not only that, just they know who they want as their straight man, who they have to really carry like the eccentric.
They know
nature.
how to balance out Gabriel's dickishness with like the fact that she still kind of cares on some level. Like she'll
Yeah.
still go out of her way to be nice and stuff like that.
Whereas Raphael, I think if there was anybody who is actually evil in this show, it'd be Raphael, because she's a troll and she does really cruel things to people, but she only stops and she only helps when it's necessary, so that there's a balance, because she knows if she overdoes it, they'll catch on to what she's doing.
yeah, I think, I think that's probably why there's only one season and it's only like 12 episodes. Despite the show being really popular, is because there's not really much more to do with it.
Yeah, I mean,
Besides,
they could.
they could make more jokes, but
Yeah, I mean, it would kind of take away from it if they decided let's now go into the some heavy character development. It would take away from some good premises they've set up for jokes. And
I mean,
comedic-
keep in mind that the manga is 8 volumes, and it was in Japan. It was being published from 2014 to 2019, and in the States and abroad, the English release was 2017 to 2020. So we're looking at a solid 5 years of publishing. So
really,
yeah, so it's probably just because
how many chapters are like each volume?
Let me check. Doesn't say. I mean, I could look it up.
I might want to check out this manga just because the anime is so hilarious and so well done. Manga's probably pretty funny too, and it's probably not like Nichijou where the manga's really all the same jokes as the anime, just in a different order and in manga form.
You know what? I'll look it up while we're talking.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think we've all sort of more or less made all of our takes.
kind of
so-
gushed for a bit too.
Yeah, I think the only other thing I could say is that there was an oddly heavy OVA episode, like the second OVA, the whole thing with the blind girl was like oddly heavy, but still kind of worked for the
That
characters.
OVA was ridiculous.
I'm
was
saying
100
relatively 9 chapters each.
Oh, you know what? I did watch that actually.
What was it you watched, the OVA?
Yeah, I did a long time ago. Though I don't really.
No, there was one with the onsen, and then the other one with the blind girl who nearly dies.
Yeah, and all the angels and demons end up working together to and worry about her. That was a complete 180-degree move
Yeah.
from what this was about.
I like how you phrased that, working together to worry about her.
Exactly. I mean, let's be honest.
It's pretty honest.
All of our effort together to just, I don't know, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, especially Satanya, she was crying her eyes out over her.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's just about. Yeah, I think that just about. Let's wrap this
Neo,
up.
pardon me, Neo, but since it's Christmas, it was Christmas. We had to talk about that Christmas episode real quick.
Yeah, we do. Well, naturally, Santania would be against them celebrating Christmas because she's a demon, and
Vine be having like all of the having like all of the personality traits of Monica from Friends was totally into the idea of celebrating Christmas and just established like what everybody was gonna do and physically threatening to kill people if they fuck up for celebrations.
Yeah, they trick Santania by hypnotizing her by saying melon bread and Merry Christmas over and over again. And that's how they dress her up in a reindeer suit.
Oh dear
Forcefully.
God.
There's kind of a meta moment where like they're talking about, you realize right now you're celebrating the birth of Christ, right? And then somebody's just like, it doesn't matter in Japan. It's basically a commercial holiday. Who cares? And like, I kind of think that's kind of the heart of the show where,
It is sad because in Japan.
Well, I mean, Satania did get to make her chocolate pentagram cake.
Yeah. The thing is, in Japan, one of the traditions over there is eating KFC at Christmas. Not sure why the hell that shit happened. For real, I'm not sure why that shit happened, but it's a Christmas tradition in Japan now.
Oh man, Japan, why are you so strange?
I think it was the result of some sort of marketing campaign over there when they were first setting up shop.
That's how a lot of that stuff works. Japan is a majority owner, majority stock and what's the word I'm looking for? Anyways, they own most of 7-Eleven. Japan owns most of 7-Eleven, the company. So
yeah,
if you look at Japanese 7-Elevens, they have groceries, fresh produce, the kind of stuff you would see at a grocery store. But keep in mind, it's because of the marketing. People in Japan loved 7-Eleven so much that 7-Eleven became a mainstay. So I'm going to assume that that's why. But anyways, how it relates to the anime, it would have been funny to see the demons try to cook chicken. Because I love that when Satania went all the way to hell to get a hellfish, brought it back, and this semi-sentient, demonic, fourth-dimensional hellfish was trying to escape. And they managed to kill it and cook it. But it looked horrific. Like they had that effect where like when food is bad in an anime or manga, they have like that like miasma around the food. Like this is poisonous.
That's an evil or
Just imagine being in the. Just imagine being in the middle, being like in the corner somewhere in that home economics class and watching these 4 idiotic girls trying to kill a demon fish.
I can't wait till I graduate.
Dude, the food itself had this menacing aura. Like it was
exactly that. So real
very
quick,
trending aura.
So I just want to say one thing, and then we should wrap up because we're hitting the 5-minute mark. We're about to get close to that. So, anyways, the class reps, the one in the art class, and then the class president, that stuff cracked me up because when Gabriel was talking about the other side, this poor girl was thinking like, I really want to help my classmate because that is a thing culturally. That is a thing. Not obviously not everybody does it, but worrying about your fellow classmates when you're president is actually like a pressure on your shoulder. Like you'll look bad, like at least in the mind of a prep who's in high school, you'll look bad if someone's in your class and they drop when you're responsible for their career search or whatever. So she's thinking, how do I help Gabriel with her career? And then she overhears Gabriel talking, I think it was Vin, about like how she was, I think it was, I'm not sure if I got the characters right, but basically they were talking about the supernatural side of things, like heaven and hell and stuff like that. And the class president thinks, oh, she must be talking about a career. This must be a metaphor for a career. Because she can't be serious, can she? like, I'm not dealing with a crazy person, am I? But,
Remember when Santania got her to strip during art class?
yeah, that was that Tanaka or was that the president?
It was the class president.
Yeah. And they had to stop the class president. She's like, this is for the sake of her career.
Yeah, she just dead faces. I'm not going to compromise on my art.
And then, and what about the two girls in the cooking club? When
Wait, before
Taste testing club.
Yeah. So before that, we're real quick. And then eventually, like, it freeze frames, and it's the class president's holding two scalpels, because she's struggling with the other students who are trying to stop her from stripping. And so Tanya's like, wait, I changed my mind. Hold it right there. Just freeze. And then she draws this terrible, like Sunday comics quality, like, composition, or I'm sorry, silhouette of the class president. And that was the entire, like, that was her artistic value. And even the class president is like, oh, okay then. Like, this is what you drew. Anyways, guys, go on. We have, like, 3.5 minutes. Go ahead.
I think we should just wrap this up. As if we go into something else, we're gonna go into another like massive tangent for like another 10 minutes.
We're at the point of risking spoiling every joke in the anime at this point.
Yeah.
Let's go straight to the scores. Let's go straight to the scores.
We'll do final takes and scores as usual, so we can go over a little bit. It's fine. All right. So usually Josh does this first, but he's not here today for personal reasons. Anyway, so I guess RJ, you go first.
I'll give it an 8. I've never laughed this hard at this genre.
Wait. What's your final take though?
Well, I was about to say, I've never laughed so hard at this genre of anime. I don't enjoy this kind of stuff usually. But I think what helped it was the fact that there was a supernatural element. Like, what's that, I think you would know, Dom. What's that one anime that's about this angel who goes back in time to stop a guy from creating a machine that stops people from aging? Peter.
Dokuro-chan.
Yeah, Tokuro. I tried watching that years ago, and it annoyed the living life out of me. I'm like, okay, this is kind of cute, I guess. I don't know, because the thing is, I don't like. There's very few shows I enjoy. They're like that. Like, I like Ranma 1.5, but again, supernatural element. I like stuff like that's comedy-ish, as long as there's something interesting going on. If it's just like, slapstick or whatever, it gets boring after a while. This show made me laugh. It made me laugh like hard. So I'm gonna have to give it an 8 out of 10 because to me it's an accomplishment to make me laugh. Like, at least with an anime. But go ahead. So I'll
all right.
I'm gonna keep this score.
All right, Striker.
All right. I'm gonna be honest here. This show is pure hot, moist shit garbage, and I enjoyed every single moment out of it. Honestly, 7 out of a 77. 7 times 77. Real score.
Is that a 7
You're
out of 10?
You're gonna confuse my calculation. Is it just a 7 out of 10?
No. This is the ship post score.
Give me an actual score. Just give me an actual score, Lewis.
Dude,
you liked it.
Come on.
It's a critical reference, honestly.
Okay, is it 10? Are you gonna give it a 10 out of 10? Just out of 10.
Dude, let me do this quick. Regarding realistically speaking, demons and angels should not be friends. Of all things, they are enemies. They hate each other. And because this is a battle between good and evil. But in this case, this anime, it doesn't make sense. But honestly, it's a good comedy. 8 out of 10. Same as RJ. Fuck it.
All right. Lolly.
Okay. Final thoughts. Like, this is probably one of those shows. Like, I've already watched it twice, and I enjoyed the hell out of it the second time still. So this is probably one of those shows that I I would definitely recommend for somebody if they just have like an afternoon or something to kill. It's really great to just go through. It's a joy to watch. I would say I'm kind of one of those people that's like really weird with scoring, so I would say it would probably be like a 7 out of 10, high 6ish out of 10.
7. Okay. 676.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't have like a big investment in it, but when they had some good setups. I fucking loved the section with Tapris and Satania, which she gets stuck in the logger. That was such a good scene. The deadpan humor where like with Rafi, where she would just someone would ask her a question, she just would have that goofy smile like I'm not answering. I'd say I give it a 7 as well. Good setup, nothing to write home about in terms of story, but it's something that you want some slapstick to cheer you up. It's definitely that good for that.
All right. So this show is there's a lot of shows that are like Gabriel Dropout.
One quick second. What was Mike's score again?
7.
Okay.
Like Kill Me Baby comes to mind, where there's not much to it, but it's still quite funny. But this one is all right, and then there's Nichijou, Azuma Daioh. There's a lot of shows where it's about it's a comedy about high school girls, and that's more or less what you get, and they vary wildly in quality. This is one of the funnier ones. It has, I'd say, in some instances, it's even funnier than Nichijou. But then Nichijou has some sort of undertone to it where it feels like what you're watching is more meaningful, despite it being a fairly straight up comedy. So I would say, yeah, I'd give it a 7. It's very good if you want something that's just going to make you laugh, and you're not you don't want to bite off more than you can chew, and maybe you might think you could get burned out on one of the a comedy that's like 26 episodes long. Watch Gabriel Dropout. It's quite good. And it's quite funny.
And the score we got, the average is 7.4. The amount on IMDb was 7.1, and on Anime List is 7.56, a little over 7.5. We came close-ish.
Yeah.
Close enough.
All right. So I hope everyone had a good New Year's. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. And I hope everyone has a good night. Next time we're going to be covering My Neighbor Totoro.
Indeed.
Oh boy.
So good night, everyone.
You know what?
Peace out.